Paola Miranda. Paola is one of our many graduate students. We really take a lot of pride in our graduate students at JFS. We have several graduate students from all the universities and even from New York. So we have students that come in, you know, from Fordham, NYU, Rutgers, Kane, Montclair now. They have a social work program, which I didn't know, but anyway. So we clinically supervise graduate students and we give them a lot of experience because JFS, as you all know, has many different programs and components. So actually, Paola, this is her last day. Paola and I are making a home visit after this, and we're gonna have our tears and say bye, and she knows that I'm only a phone call or a text away. But anyway, so Paola, you wanna say a few words about JFS?
Well, I have a good experience. I get to know a lot of people. I work at the coffee house with people that suffer from memory loss. I learn a lot also with Elaine, working with other clients individually, and it was a good experience. And thank you for being here too. This is new for me too. So
yeah. Well, Paola's going to be my sidekick, so she knows me a little bit now, so she'll kick in if I need her, but she's also going to have the time going. But anyway, so let's just move on. So again, welcome all of you. Just a little bit about myself, 2 minutes about myself. Okay, again, I'm Elaine. Been at JFS for 8 years now, going on 8 years, which has been a gift to me. It's a gift to me to be at JFS. I retired out of the Jersey City school systems out of 25 years. I did crisis work there and always had a private practice on the side and taught at most of the universities in New York and New Jersey as an adjunct, and finally gave that up. So that was a tough one to give up. But anyway, love to tell the story about how I got to JFS, because I was at a workshop, and you know how workshops sometimes there's could be 100 people, and there was this person up in the front, and you know people, and when you're in my field, if you notice somebody out in the community, what are we supposed to do, Paola? We're not supposed to say, oh hi, how are you, or how are you feeling? So of course I stay low and stay back, and so I had a break. This person approached me, and to make a long story short, she was my graduate student many years ago. And she had been employed at JFS. So I said, oh, I'm in between. I'm retired now. I get that nice pension deposited every month. I want to do something with myself, private practice, whatever. She said, well, why don't you come to JFS? I said, well, JFS, what are you talking about? As far as I'm concerned, JFS is one of the best kept secrets in the state of New Jersey. Wow. It really is. What we do there, not only my department, but the whole agency, it's an honor to be there. We turn nobody away. Amazing clinical department with licensed therapists who do individual and group and family. We have all the other programs. We have it's a wonderful program. And if you have not been to Elizabeth, I would suggest going one day, just to see what we have there. And I'd love to brag about the garden. Nobody leaves there in spring and summer without a bag of fresh vegetables. Any client that comes in the front door goes home with something. And that's what we're about. Even if it's cucumbers or tomatoes, and you know how when your garden gets going sometimes you have like 1,000 cucumbers. So most people, you'll get for free, what is meant for you to have that day. But anyway, so that's my story, and I don't plan on going anywhere. JFS is, again, a gift. So anyway, we're gonna start talking about sleep. We need sleep to survive. I remember I had this amazing graduate professor, and it's like, I'm sure Paola could comment on that, but some of your professors, they stay with you, even if you've been gone for 25 years, but out of school for 25, 30 years. One of my professors, I remember him saying that, and it stuck with me, that an individual who is diagnosed with bipolar disorder or is manic, or that spectrum is huge, But those people who are manic and don't sleep for 3 days will either die, get in trouble somehow or another, or get arrested. Because it's 3 days of lack of sleep. And it's not their fault. Okay, it's not their fault, right? So that was his point. He said that the majority of people, those individuals who are carrying that diagnosis are wonderful quality people. But if you're not sleeping for 3 or 4 days, you're done. You're done. And if somebody's in a manic state, right, what happens? Somebody's in a manic state, they're not sleeping. They are 24/7 moving. So that just, popped in my head actually as I was driving here. So just to let you know that you're not alone when it comes down. If you do have a sleep problem, that doesn't mean that because you walked in the door that you have a sleep problem, okay? I mean, I think in reality, who doesn't? But, we all have bad nights, we all have great nights, and you're so grateful for those great nights. But, in reality, you're not alone. I don't like to use the word normal, but you're not alone. People don't sleep, and it can be problematic, okay? So the way I run these little get-togethers and workshops and presentations is it's, please ask whatever you need to ask. Say whatever you want to say. Paola and I will handle it, right, Paola? We'll take care of business. So, the thing is that please, I need you to be yourself and to ask me questions. I'm doing this job for a long time. And my job, basically, I'm in the business of talking and listening. So we're good listeners, Paola and I. So, I'm gonna ask you a question to think about for a minute as we start, okay? On a scale of 1 to 10, now you can share this with us if you want, Paola and I, or if not, keep it in your own head, okay? On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you sleeping? 10 being, I've got a real problem, Elaine. I got a real problem. And 1 being like, no problem whatsoever. My head hits that pillow and I'm good. So, would anyone like to share? Yes.
I think I'm a 10.
Okay. What is your name?
Dorothy Berger.
Okay, Dorothy. Good. Okay, thank you for sharing that, Dorothy. You're a 10. Anybody else a 10?
10 means you can't sleep
The
at
worst.
all,
Right.
and 1 means you can just.
You're good.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I think I'm about a 6. Some
Okay.
nights are
Yeah.
very easy, and some nights aren't. It's not
Yeah.
a constant.
It's not a constant. Yeah.
I think I'm a 6 also, 'cause my mind is always going.
Yep.
I'm a 6.
About a 6? Oh, you're not the number 6.
I think I'm probably myself. I'm probably a 2 or 3, but I'm a caregiver for someone with Parkinson's.
Oh, so your
And-
sleep is disturbed? Yeah. That's huge. That's huge. Any of you that are parents here or your sleep has been disturbed or any time throughout the night, it's problematic when you go back or try to go back to sleep the majority of the time, right? Is that your concern?
Well, yeah, it's interrupted.
It's interrupted.
Usually I can go back to sleep, but it's really, it's not like a smooth, getting to sleep, staying asleep, waking up.
Right. How many times are you awoken throughout the night?
It depends.
Okay.
It varies.
Could be like 2 or 10.
Totally unpredictable.
Unpredictable, yeah. And you see, and that also too right there, the unpredictability of it can be a concern. Could be a source of anxiety.
Mm.
And then the source of anxiety in turn turns into, I can't sleep, I can't get back to sleep, right? Now, just for example, I do tend to personalize a little bit with this because, again, I've been in the field for a long time and I'm pretty much an open book, to a point. But, last night I knew I was coming here, right? I didn't have a good night last night. I set my phone, because I have responsibilities. I have animals at home. I have horses and dogs, okay? So, I have responsibilities, okay? And like most of us do, some of us do, some of us don't at this point. But, I set it for 6, and wouldn't you know, 3 o'clock, hi, I'm up. And I'm thinking, okay, I got my notes. I know get there. I got my water. Paola's gonna be there. We're gonna be good. You know? And then I'm up. So then I go and I lay back down, and it wasn't good. You know, you get like an hour or so, right? Because then I'm constantly looking at the clock. When I used to work in the school system, summer break was the best, but come what? The end of August? Whoa,
Nightmare.
nightmare.
No, I know it because my daughter does what you do.
Oh my goodness.
Same job.
In the school system, it was,
That's-
we'd all be on the phone with each other thinking, I'm gonna quit. We're not going back. I'm not going back. It's just, it was really scary. So that's when we need to have our, brain working cognitively in a specific direction. And actually, by the time we're done in an hour, that's basically what I'm gonna talk to you about, okay? To empower you to understand that you have the power. Easier said than done. So much easier said than done, right? I mean, I can sit up here and just say, just relax. Why can't you relax?
Yeah.
No. So that's what's really, really interesting about the process of change your thinking, change your life. And again, I'm gonna stand up here and I'm gonna throw these things out at you, but you know, you're gonna go home, you're gonna walk out the door and you're gonna go to your life, right? So I mean, the things is that if we start small, that's probably the most important thing, is that we start small, okay? So, okay, great, oops, sorry. So, all right, so what we have is like 1 to 10. I'd say about a 6 or 7. I'm definitely not a 1, but I'm definitely not a 10, okay? Because I have a busy life, and when I walk in that bedroom at night, and I see my bed, I just went, oh, I am so grateful for my bed. But I prepped my bedroom, and I'm gonna get into that too once we get into this, okay, for a minute? All right, so, excuse me? Did you say something? Oh, okay. Please ask me if you want to hear, question me at all, okay? Or comment. Okay, so I've been in the field for close to a long time, okay? So anyway, I had a colleague. I used to work at a private practice, again, after Jersey City. I had a lot of gigs in the evening, right? Because we'd get out of school at 3. But then again, I would be up at 4:30 because I had to take care of what I needed to take care of. So I would be basically pretty wasted by 10:30, just to get my butt in the bed, okay? But anyway, one of my colleagues was an amazing guy, and he was our sleep guy at the clinic. And we all used to hang out with him, Dr. Smith, we used to hang out with him all the time or whatever, but he used to say, did you go to your book? Did you go to your book? And this is the book, okay? As far as I'm concerned. I mean, I have nothing to do with these authors, but the point is, it's simple and it's concrete and to the fact. It's called Good Night Mind. Turn off your noisy thoughts and get a good night's sleep. I can show it to you later. By Dr. Colleen Carney and Dr. Rachel Manber. Good Night Mind, okay? And it's really a very, very, I mean, it's, you know, been torn apart and up and down and in and out, but I know the book very well. But the point is that we need to, the gist of this little tiny book is to normalize what's happening to you if you're having a sleep problem. You know, as we age, it's harder to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Chemically, biology, it's just harder to sleep. Just think of how old you are and just think of all the years you have in your head, okay? Not to mention those that we care for or those that we, you know, our world outside, you know, is my car gonna break down? I mean, whatever, you know? But I just wanna start by attempting to normalize what you're feeling, okay? And again, the more we think about it, and again, I'm simplifying here, the more we think about it and concern ourselves about it, the worse it's gonna get. You're gonna scare yourself, which I have scared myself many times. going back to school, knowing I had to get up at 4:30, and I'm looking at the clock and it's 1 o'clock, and it's 2 o'clock. And I say, well, you know, I gotta take care of my kids at school. I gotta get to school, but first I need to do what I need to do on the farm. It was not a good day the next day, okay? So we need to normalize what's happening to you, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go through a few specific, you know, chapters that I think are pretty important here. So what the two good doctors start with is they talk about your bedroom, where you lay your head, okay? It's very important where you lay your head, okay? Generally speaking, your bed needs to be associated with sleep. It should be a space reserved specifically for sleep. When you're in bed, if you engage in activities that are normally due when you are awake, reading, surfing the web, making a to-do list, eating, watching television, talking on the phone, or checking your texts, you are unintentionally training your body to be awake in your bed. I think that's the most important part. See, again, what both Dr. Carney and Amanda are saying is that you are actually training your head and your brain and your body. I lay down in bed, okay, let me check my text. What do I need to do tomorrow? Okay, the TV, that's huge. And I mean, and I'm not here to judge, because this girl reads in bed. And all throughout their book, and most people, professionals you talk to, they tell you not to read in bed. Well, that to me is another gift, because it gives me a half hour, 45 minutes, or maybe an hour to bring it down. And I read. And I get through my books that way, and I enjoy them. And then if they get really good, right, I look at the clock and, oh my gosh, it's 1 o'clock, I got one more chapter. Let's see, do you ever go through your book and look and see how many pages are left in this chapter, right? And you think, oh, I can do this. But anyway, they're saying to totally disconnect in your bedroom, okay? Anything you do in bed that you might also do when you are awake and your wakeful self can ultimately cause and worsen sleep problems. Say it again. Anything you do in bed that you might also do when you are in your wakeful self can ultimately cause and worsen insomnia or sleep problems. I don't even want to call it insomnia. Okay, I'm not going to call it insomnia. I'm going to call it a sleep issue. I'm going to call it, you know, whatever you guys want to call it. Okay? But let me just tell you one thing about, again, I personalize an awful lot, and if some of you want to share with me on Paola what your routine is, I would love to hear that, because we're all open to different routines. I actually just moved. I moved to a different piece of property, and everyone came with me, meaning, you know, whatever. I just moved. The bedroom is magnificent. It's believe me, I'm a humble person. If you saw my house, it's a very humble house, okay? But the bedroom is where I rest. And I have a couple of quirks that make it work for me. Number one, which I'm going to get into a little bit clearer as we move on, is white noise. Does anybody know what white noise is?
Yeah.
What is it?
How to explain it, but my granddaughter bought me a machine that
Yes.
plays ocean sounds and
She did that for you to
sound.
help you sleep?
I haven't really used it, and I should.
Okay. Got that, perfect. You just want to? White noise?
Yeah, I use white noise, like.
You have the machine?
It goes, yeah,
Mhm.
for my
I
phone.
don't have.
No. Jill, you do?
There's an app on your phone.
Yeah.
Well, not an app, but if you have Spotify,
Yeah.
you can literally look up white noise, and it
Yep.
plays for 12 hours
It
straight.
plays for 12 hours straight, right. Make sure you get your battery juice
Yeah.
before you do it.
Well, my phone's plugged in, so.
Your phone's plugged in, okay. Yes, white noise. Well, I'm just saying this is in my bedroom, okay? And I'm not saying that this is, you know, this is just, we're here for suggestions. We're here to, you know, for you to, you know, obtain some information, hopefully, and take it home and try it. But I use a fan. I have the machines. But I have an old fan that sometimes I scare myself and I think, oh my gosh, if that fan breaks, what am I gonna do?
You can have another one.
I guess I'll have to get another one, but I don't know if I can replace it. It's a small round fan that I put on medium, and it has a lovely
Word. An air purifier that does. that
okay,
stuff.
and then I have, actually, yes, I have a fan that goes, and then I have a oil scent fogger. Have you ever seen those? I forget what they're called. They're scent, what are they called? Do you know what they're
An
called?
infuser.
Thank you. There you go. It's an infuser. So I set that as soon as I get home before I get into bed. Okay? And there's an aroma in my room. Now, of course, my whole family knows that, you know, for any holiday, just get Annie Elaine a bottle of something and she'll be fine. Because it's great for me. You can use the lavender, you can use the peppermint, but you know, some of these are supposed to stimulate you, but for me, my brain is conditioned after 10 years of doing this routine that this is my bedroom and now it's time for sleep for me. And then when I make the room soft and not dark, but soft, I like a soft light or soft bulb. I'm not into bright lights. So my whole house is pretty soft in terms of lighting. So my bedroom is a very soft atmosphere for lighting. And then I'll come into my bedroom. But before I do that too, now see, this is me, okay? And it is in the literature, I just wanna let you know. It is in the literature. Because I learned this from this book and from also my colleagues that were the sleepers at my office, okay? That told, you know, we went to them for the sleep question pretty much. Is anybody familiar with Tai Chi or Qigong? Okay. Nice stuff, right? Nice stuff. If you asked me 20 years ago if I would ever be doing Qigong or Tai Chi, I'd say, what are you talking about? Like, leave me alone, okay? Leave me alone. It has turned my life around in terms of relaxing me. So I go to Five Below, and you know, you can get a yoga mat for $5 at Five Below. And it's outside my bedroom, okay? And I leave it, I do these routines in the morning, and it's, you guys, it's 3 minutes. It's not an hour, believe me. It's not an hour. So I will unroll the mat, okay, no matter what time. And I'll tell you, I pat myself on the back for that, because it doesn't matter if I get home, like, I don't get home at 2 o'clock much more anymore, like, yeah, I used to, but I will do it even then. And you do a simple, you know, stretch. We can, if you really want to know the details, you can go on any YouTube channel and look for a, you know, down-faced dog or a stretching of your legs or whatever. It's very simple. I would say tops, I've got it down to like 3 minutes. And I stretch out, and I stretch back in, and I stretch my legs, you know, hips. And then I roll up my mat. Everybody's safe, everything's quiet except for my fan. And then I go to bed. And I read. But you see, again, we're not supposed to read. But it works for me. And that's a whole nother thing that I think that all of us need to understand. I don't really care, I mean, I do care what the professionals say because they got published and they're the professionals. But if it works for me,
You do it.
I'm doing it.
I have a
Yes.
question
Oh,
about
yes.
reading.
Mhm.
Reading in bed
Right.
or reading in a chair in your bedroom?
Your bed, right, yeah.
Is it your bed or you should be reading in your bed? Or you
The
should-
bedroom is
It should
completely,
be the whole bedroom.
the whole bedroom. The whole bedroom is just for sleeping. Even to take your clothing out and get dressed in the bathroom.
Oh,
Yes.
I have a question. Do they say anything about ashwagandha or any OTCs?
Oh yeah. Okay, that's not, but yes, I am a fan, big time.
For what?
They're natural, what they are is they are natural sleep aids, okay? Now, I'm just not going to say that I'm recommending them. But if you are interested in any kind of natural sleep aid, yes, I have several. And they're working for this girl.
What do you take? You take ashwagandha?
Yes.
And what else?
I take an herb from my Tai Chi instructor. It's from China. I trust her 100%. And I also drink, now again, this is me. And I'm gonna go on record that I'm not recommending this.
If there's something you think you might be interested, you should speak to your doctor or pharmacist.
Thanks, Jill. Did everyone hear Jill?
Yeah.
Okay. I drink tart cherry juice before I go to bed. Tart cherry juice, not regular cherry juice. Tart. It needs to pop your mouth. I mean, I like it anyway. I don't like much sweet. Tart cherry juice. The ashwagandha. I have the gummies. Okay. And as I'm reading, I pop one in my mouth. And I let it absorb. I don't chew it. Okay. And then I've actually been going on and off with. I've been more with the ashwagandha gummies now as compared to my herb from my Tai Chi instructor. But I mean, you know, if you go to acupuncture or Tai Chi or or Qigong or whatever, and a real acupuncturist, they're gonna have everything there for you. So if you go and and you work on, you say you have a sleep issue, well, let's try this, Elaine. Let's try this. Yeah. But yes.
I did a while ago, I did cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia.
Yeah.
And I thought I would never, ever be able to not read in bed.
Right.
That just seemed like, that's impossible.
Right.
That's how I wind down. And I found that I have a couch in my room.
Okay.
And if I sit down, put my legs up and read right before bed and then get into bed.
Okay.
I'm associating the bed with the sleep, not the couch.
Awesome. What is your name?
So,
Toby, right. I think a lot of professionals bend with that a little bit, just as long as, and again, I tend to say not in the bedroom, okay? That's me. But I mean, like you're saying, Susan, right? I mean, you have that couch in there that this is what you do before you get, just as long as you're not in the bed per research. That this is where you sleep, right? That's really great. Maybe you can share with us some of the things that you learned. Was that your takeaway from the class, or?
that was a big one,
Yeah.
not doing stuff in
the
bed.
bed, of
And that
course.
was tough.
That's tough.
It's tough, whatever you have been doing in bed, to not do it, that took months.
It took months, right? But again, I think it's so interesting. Any of the literature that you research on this, or if you go to a professional with it, they're going to say, "Hold on, it's going to be a tough ride." It will. I mean, because I'm going to say something here and moving on, which I till today will not do. But it's in all the research. But anyway, I'm sure you'll be interested. I'm sure, Toby, you can agree with it, okay? But anyway, okay, so we're moving along here, and I want to start I want to just also mention to you about your body clock type, okay? Right? Toby knows, she's shaking her head. The body clock types. We're all different. And then another thing I'm just going to throw in there, if you're sharing your bed with somebody, I do a lot of couples work at the office. And I love it because, that's an issue. If you're sharing the bed with somebody and somebody is up and somebody wants to sleep and somebody is not sleeping, it could be problematic. So, I mean, I think anything in life that's worth it is worth working. Things don't come that easily to us unless we really have to work. You have to work stuff, right? Okay, so people have a range of body clock types. Okay, unless even twins. I mean, I don't know how the somebody has to do some twin studies or something, but we're different. That's why we're different, okay? People have a range of body clock types. At one extreme, there's a definite morning type. So try and think as I read this and we try to discuss it where you're at. At one extreme, there's a definite morning type. And at the other end are extreme evening types. Okay, so try and think in your home brain where you fall. Where are you on the spectrum? If you are unsure of your body clock type, let me just explain. Okay, if you have the following tendencies, You're an extreme evening type. You know how they used to call them night owls, right? Some people are night owls. And these are some of the statistics as a night owl. You have difficulty waking up in the morning. Or others have difficulty waking you up. Like, you're out. You dislike and avoid eating early in the morning.
My voice.
Yeah. You feel mentally cloudy for a while after waking up in the morning. You're an evening person. You feel best in the evening. And you're that person, you become sleepy much later than most others do. For example, we're going to bed. It's like, what do you mean? It's only 11 o'clock. Why do you want to go to bed now? It's 11 o'clock. You know, these are the people. I work with a client actually. Of course, we don't share names. I work with a client who is definitely this type of a sleeper. Up till like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, watching QVC, all the other channels, all the good stuff. But you can't call her before 1 the next morning, the next day.
1
Because
p.m.
1 in the afternoon.
Oh my God.
Because she's sleeping till what time? Noon. She's sleeping till 11 or noon. But again, this is her routine and this is what she does. Okay. So so that's your night owl. If the other hand, the following are descriptives of you, you're extremely morning type, also called what? Early birds, or like they call it a little lark or whatever. You become sleepy much earlier than most others do, usually earlier than 10, or 10's like late. At my new house, it's a piece of property farm where I say, the house next, it's a bit ways over there, and I was speaking to the neighbor the other day, or a while ago when I was there, and I said, gee, she goes, I basically said, you guys, your lights are out, you know, because when you live in an area with, well, semi-rural, you know, I mean, you look at lights. She goes, oh, 8 o'clock. That's it, 8 o'clock. So, 8 o'clock, they're in bed. She goes, I have a reputation. She has 3 kids. They're all running around, everything. 3 kids. She goes, that's it. I'm the meanest mom in town. And the husband and wife are also, the parents are in bed. At 8 o'clock, that house is dark. I'm like, okay, go for it, right? And she's also, what she's doing, she's teaching the kids, right? Okay, so you become sleepy much earlier than most, usually by 10. You have difficulty staying awake in the evening. You wake up in the morning much earlier than most others do without an alarm. So you're like a 6 o'clock person, or 5:30. You feel most mentally alert in the morning. This alertness declines throughout the afternoon and into the evening. Anybody can relate to that?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Can relate to that, right?
And the stores aren't open yet. What am I gonna do?
Oh,
Clean
so
the
you're,
house.
what time are you getting up?
Between 5:30 and 6:30.
Wow, and what time are you going to bed?
10.
There you go. Perfect, right?
Yeah.
And it works for you. Do you wake up throughout the night? Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
To use the lavatory.
Exactly. Exactly. Now see, that again can be some bit of sleep disturbance, correct? You know, I think as we age, but even kids too, right? I mean, you know, I was in the school system 25 years. The kids, you know, the kids have to get up too and go to the bathroom, or else they'll wet their bed or whatever. But the thing is that, yeah, we get up. And I have found for myself, getting up like that, if I can make it, and you know, there's a whole thing about, you know, drinking before bed. I mean, that's just whatever. But the thing is that, you know, I'm more of a drinker than I'd rather drink and then get up and go to the bathroom. But the thing is that if I do that, like I tend to do that like every other night, like weekly. I'm conditioning my brain. It's 2 o'clock, Elaine, you gotta get up and go to the bathroom. So I mean, that's part of the, I don't want to say problem, you know, or concern. But I mean, there's other types also too in terms of sleepers, but I'm just gonna get into those two because I think they're pretty specific, right? I mean, you're either a night owl and you're up till 1, or else you are, you know, in bed by 9:30. But a treat for me would be to go to bed at 9. and then be able to read for 2 hours, you know, and I'm looking at the clock, going, oh, good, it's only 9 o'clock, I have 2 more hours I can read, you know. But anyway, again, normalize, okay? We need to look and explain that your unusual sleep window may be biologically based and therefore not easy to change. I wanted to throw that in. So can anybody tell me what I mean by that? Let me read another phrase here. Because your body clocks have a significant genetic component. You may be able to identify at least one person in your family who can sympathize with this. So, I mean, there could be a biological base, there's a foundation or a cause. So let's all quickly, we don't need to do a psychosocial here and get into your family history, I don't want to do that. But let's think, what was sleep like at your house growing up? Was it consistent? Was there a routine? Was everybody in bed at the same time? Did mom or dad work overnights? Oh, whatever. How about that overnight schedule? Has anyone ever done that before? I did it once when I first got out of social work school, and I was greener than the grass outside. Has anyone ever heard of Covenant House? Covenant House. It's a runway shelter basically for teens, and I was in Florida at the time, and I was down in Fort Lauderdale Beach, and so they offered me a job. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, fine. You know, fresh out of graduate school. Well, it was like you had to do the overnight shift in order to see if you could do it, and work with these kids, because there were problematic situations. So I did. I lasted like a week, 2 weeks. I was hysterical. I would leave, and by then it was morning, right? So I'd go and lunch, and I remember, and my ex-husband at the time would go, okay, we're gonna go eat, and you go home and go to sleep. Go home and go to sleep? It's 11 o'clock in the morning. How am I gonna go to sleep? I was an emotional wreck. So it lasted for about a month. I said, I'm so sorry. Tremendous respect for every nurse, every doctor, every night person that works the streets, construction, really. Because if you can do that, and the train conductors, you know, I have a client who drives that New York Transit. He works nights. Those trains run. But anyway, it's, you know, if you can do it, you can do it, you know? But it can be very, very difficult. Okay. Any questions so far? Questions? Yes.
I haven't heard the word nap.
Oh, it's coming.
That's a very nice word.
I don't do it.
It is my favorite word. Okay, and that's a very controversial, thank you for that. Your name is Barbara, is it?
Annette.
Annette. Thank you for bringing that up, because actually this is the chapter we're going to talk about now. The things not to do. Not to do. Okay, again, personalizing here just a little bit. My mom, she left us in her 90s, and I was with her, you know, last couple of years for that, and her sleep was totally off. And her famous lines was, we said to my sister, we're going to put it on her gravestone, is, okay, I had a bad night tonight, but I'll have a good night the next night. And I heard my sister say that like the other day, or like a month ago. I said, don't you ever say that to me, because she doesn't sleep well. And I said, don't you remember, Mom used to say that all the time. She would not sleep, but then she would exhaust herself, correct? And then the next day, she'd sleep all day, in her chair, in and out, you know, we'd try to wake her up, and then she'd sleep all night, and then the next day it would be totally messed up, schedule-wise. So it's extremely important to get yourself, and I know it's, again, I'm just saying, easier said than done, on a routine. We all have the nights where we have a party or a wedding or something like that, right? I mean, not like we used to, or at least not I used to, but there's gonna be nights. But the majority of our life, if you're on a routine, you're better off. Okay, great. So we're gonna train your active mind to be quiet in bed. How the brain learns to become active in bed. Does the following scenario sound familiar to you? I was absolutely exhausted and could barely keep my eyes open. But when I got into bed, it was like a switch turned on. And I was wide awake. The scenario described is very common for those who have sleep problems. Okay. Animals, including humans, learn to associate stimuli with wakefulness. So basically, to shorten what the two doctors are saying, is that we need to consciously turn the brain off. And it's easier said than done. Because if you have that list, and if you have tomorrow's schedule going on in your head, it's not gonna work. We do in cognitive behavioral with the client or anybody that basically is open to it, is that like, if something pops into your head, you think it, okay? Thank you for sharing, and I'm putting you in the back seat right now. We're gonna put you in the back burner. You consciously tell yourself, I'm not going there right now. And not in a judgmental, demanding, angry way, in a sweet, gentle, thank you. I'll remember that. See, what we say to ourselves, we produce, basically, right? So it's so amazing when I work with clients, and I mean, I love my job, and I just listen a lot. And then of course we kick in and say what we need to say. But when you listen to people talk, what they're saying to themselves could be so disturbing. But it's common sense. People say it all the time. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be late for work. I used to drive into Jersey City from a faraway place for almost 20 some odd years. And I would have to be positive and say, I will be in school by 8 a.m. I will get there. Okay? If I say, oh my gosh, you know, the turnpike, Jersey City, when I get into the city, I know it's gonna be this and it's gonna be that. No, cancel, turn it off. And bring yourself, this is gonna sound really corny, but bring yourself to your happy place. We all have a happy place. There isn't one person in this room, if you don't want to admit it, you don't have a happy place. So the point is that you have an overreactive mind in bed. Consider your bed as a stimulus. Consider your bed as something like when you're laying there, it might trigger you to start thinking. But that's when you need to cancel it and change your thinking, change your life. Again, easier said than done, okay? So here we go. Here's our nap. So these are some things that we need to look at that the professionals say to avoid. Now again, do they work for me? No. No, they don't. Because I'm being very honest here, and I will share with you what I do here sometimes. Okay, number one is do not nap. Does anybody nap in here? Jill naps, I nap, yep. I love a nap.
Not daily, but you know.
What, Jill?
I said not daily, but sometimes,
No,
you know.
you close your eyes, right, Jill?
Some days, not other days, not
But
today.
exactly. Of course there's times when I don't. Okay. But the point is you're gonna mess it up for the night if you nap. Now again, that's debatable, you know, because I think what I really need to do now that I'm speaking to all of you about this and have this book right on my brain is that next time I take a 15, 20-minute nap, I'm gonna look what my sleep is like that night. Okay, so we have to watch that, okay? But then again, listen to this. I got, you know, I'm not much a Facebook person at all or anything, but, you know, if my nieces send me something or if the kids send me something, I'll read it. And I got something the other day and it said, naps are good because it takes a lot of courage to wake up twice in the day. Isn't that cool? It takes a lot of courage. Okay, it takes a lot of courage. How are we doing on time, Miss Paola? It takes a lot of courage to wake up twice in a day.
I have a question.
Sure.
Isn't there a difference between consciously
Yes.
taking a nap
Yes.
and
sleeping fully.
just nodding off on the couch?
Exactly.
That's
Okay.
not a nap.
Okay.
That's you just fell asleep.
Basically, exactly. Now, again, there's the REM sleep, and then there's the conscious sleep where you're there. It's kind of like a yoga thing or a meditation. Oh, and by the way, I'll plug my meditation class. The JFS, I have a meditation class every Wednesday from 11 to 11. It's supposed to be 30, but sometimes we go to 11:45 or whatever. And it's Zoom, and it's through JFS, and you guys really, it's really fun. sometimes I have 2 people, sometimes I have 20 people, but I have my standard people. And we sit, I mean, of course we go through, I do a visualization or whatever, but it's good. And I also love it too, because, you know, again, it's meditation, to sit, just like you're doing right now for an hour, whether you know it or not, what you're doing for your body, just sitting and listening and looking and having a bagel and a coffee or whatever. I mean, you are just gave yourself a gift, because you're not fighting the lines in ShopRite, right? You're not driving up and down, 78. So when you bring yourself down, and that's, I think, the reason why I'm saying this is that quick nap. When then you go into a deep sleep, that's a different story, right? And the professionals say, in terms of a nap, okay, napping includes attempting to nap, unconsciously dozing and nodding off, okay? That, to me, okay, they say no. They say no, period, 0. I say yes. I say okay, for me, it works for me. Okay, it works for me. If you want to close your eyes in the backyard, I mean, for me to close, now it's spring, we've got the deck out, now it's gorgeous. This has been a very strong spring for me. I don't know about anybody else, not only with the allergies, but I mean, things are popping. So I mean, to sit out there and listen to the birds and to smell it, use all those senses and give myself 10, 15 minutes, come on, what a gift. And then I go in and see my 10 clients, right? Okay. And I'm one of the therapists that will see a client from 8:15 to 9. So I'm up pretty late. I mean, I'm not, but I'm in bed by 11. But the point is give yourself, okay, but anyway, they're saying, yes, here, no naps. Because basically what they're saying is it interrupts with your whole system, sleep system. And then basically what one needs to do is, if you're feeling tired, okay, that 3 o'clock or whatever, what do you think you're supposed to do? Common sense.
Movement.
Fresh air.
But what if you're like watching television?
Yep.
And you start to doze
Right.
off and you wake up but you don't go up. Wouldn't that be a good time
No.
to go to sleep if it's not 3
They also, the good doctors mention that when you're watching TV and you're falling, you need to get your butt up. You need to move around. Because what you're doing is, right, you're relaxing yourself and you're bringing your body and you're bringing your temperature down and everything else like that, right? So really, in reality, to move around, get up, get fresh air, open the air, light, water, eat something, and then you will kick out of it, so they say. Which I have to, I mean, I've done that. I look sometimes at my schedule and I go, oh my gosh, I'm gonna to do this or whatever, yeah. And then I think, I'm so tired. No, Elaine, cancel. Get outside, get some fresh air. I got my food down. Food is a whole nother thing too, which is in here, which that's a session with himself, yeah.
Because a lot of times, like I usually go to sleep at 11. So
Right.
usually around 10 sometimes, and it's a whole program not realizing.
Because
So I'm thinking in my mind, well, maybe I should be going up at 10 instead of 11, because maybe that's my clock telling me.
possibly.
That's.
But I think what's happened is that you've relaxed yourself in front of the TV. So let's take that as a gift, basically, okay? You've gotten yourself at this level, ready for sleep. So that's okay, right? Just as long as you don't fall asleep on the couch and you get yourself upstairs or wherever it is.
Yeah, then I get upstairs and I can't fall asleep.
And you can't, there you go. That's what happens, right? Because you took that little nap.
So how would you?
You need to, if you're sensing yourself going, you need to get up.
And then be able to go back
Upstairs or go to bed. Yep, right. Or you have a significant other, you have somebody there or whatever, say, hey, wake up. Come on, right? Susie, get up, let's go, come on. Let's go. How many times, oh, that's a whole other thing too. Go up to bed. Why are you falling asleep here? So go up to bed. That's, again, condition yourself to be into the bedroom. Okay, and here's the number 2, again, which we discussed pretty much. Again, this is what not to do. Avoid wakeful activities in bed. Okay, we discussed that before, right? I mean,
I missed it. I
Yes.
missed what you just said. Avoid what?
avoid wakeful activities in bed.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we can get into that in a minute if you want to. What was your question? Go ahead.
Does that mean
We're-
having sex? with
No,
your
we
partner?
are all adults in here, yes. The bed can be used for sex and sleep.
Sleep.
There's a whole chapter in here on here. Okay? But they're also recommending too, the professionals are also recommending is then to get up after you are done with your partner and then go back in to sleep. Because if we, it's common sense here, right? Because if you're connecting the activity with the sleep afterwards, it could be problematic down the line because you're not always gonna have that activity, right? Make sense? You're not always gonna have that activity. So then you're gonna pop into bed and go, well, okay, where's my activity? It's not happening. So yeah.
There's a new name for it, activity.
That's a good, okay. Right, okay, so anyway, that, yeah, that's right up here in this chapter. I was only gonna wait and see if somebody asked me. Oh my goodness, it's 12 o'clock, Jill. Okay, so we've got a few more things to say. Okay, be in bed only
Time
when
for a
you're,
nap.
okay, the third rule, be in bed only when you're sleeping and ready to fall asleep, Susan. So when you're nodding, have somebody in the house or whatever, you know yourself, go, I'm going up, okay? So be in bed only when you're asleep or very close to sleep, okay? Bless you. Okay, here is another one that's really so interesting that this is like old news here. Get out of bed at the same time every day. Okay, talk to me about that. Who really does that? Do you, even on the weekends?
Oh, no. Don't touch the weekends.
You see, Paola, so Paola's got this intense work schedule, school schedule, and family, right? So when Saturday comes, what time do you sleep till?
Don't even call me after. Wait until it's middle of the day. It's Saturday, Sunday, I need to rest.
Yeah,
Yeah, but when you're retired, every day is the same.
Right, this is true.
Weekends or
This is true.
any other day.
Right, this is
You
true.
don't
But
have
I mean, if you think about your job also too, that we were up, it was pretty regimented in the fall,
Right.
especially those that
Right.
were in the system, right, the
Right,
school system.
right.
I mean, like, we were like clock brains, you know?
Right.
You know, remember like in the system, if any of you were in the school system, okay, bring your class down at 10:28. 10:28, like 28 minutes after 10. I mean, those 2 minutes made a big difference, and they were on such a schedule. But anyway, get out of bed at the same time every day. So if you can do that, you know, I do tend to wake up at the same time, like around 6 or so, 6:30. And then there's our times when I think, oh, you know, I don't really have to be, you know, I have a 10 o'clock, so I can go back. I don't. I'll just go to the bathroom, get downstairs, make my tea, and get going.
Yeah.
Because if I go back, and do you also notice too, I don't have the details on this, they don't have this in this chapter, but if you go back and you have those crazy dreams, if you go back, did you ever have that happen? Mm-hmm. Right? You'll go back for an hour and you wake up and you think, oh my gosh, what just happened? Where was I? Like, I was in Sweden doing a dance or something, right? I don't know what happened there. It's a very interesting concept, and I'm sure there's a tremendous amount of research on that. Okay, and here's a big one, guys. This is tough. Get out of bed if unable to sleep.
Oh.
Isn't that something?
Where do you go?
You're supposed to go, oh, it's only in here.
Sorry,
You're
do
I mean,
laundry and write
exactly.
checks and
What can you do when you leave the room? You can do anything that will not make you feel more awake. Pick up an activity that is pleasurable or at least preferable to tossing and turning in bed. Think about it. But again, what works for me, I'm not getting out at 2 in the morning and go read out down in the bathroom, down in the kitchen or in the TV room. I'll sit there and toss and turn.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But the thing is, what they're saying, the professionals are saying that, is to leave the environment and go. And most people will say,
where are you going though?
well, you're going to go to another part of the room. Yes,
And that's
Go in
it.
the other room.
So,
we have a question.
may not be the way to end,
Right.
to end this, but, so I just looked this up. This book was written in 2013.
Uh-huh.
Not sure it's been updated at all.
Right.
It'd be kind of interesting to know whether the authors, what modifications the authors would make
Like Megan.
over the ensuing, 12 years.
Mhm.
But my main question is, a lot of these are kind of common sense.
Yes.
So if you go online and look up, sleep problems, and
Right.
I mean, I've done this many times, and this is what comes up, the things that you're mentioning. But it's one thing to know these things, it's another thing to implement them in a way that your sleep actually improves. So, can you say something about the method for implementing things that you know make sense,
Right.
but you're unable? So, where I'm going with this is apparently the gold standard for addressing sleep issues is cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, very specific program. Can you make some comments on that and the role that that would play in this, as opposed to depending on supplements or
Sure.
medications and whatever, because I don't think that's probably part of cognitive behavioral therapy
No, it's
for
not.
insomnia. Okay.
Cognitive behavioral therapy is, I'm gonna simplify this as easy as I can, is that your thought process makes all the difference in the world. So, I mean, I think that was a beautiful question that you asked. How do you implement a strategy? You talk to yourself and you tell you're gonna do it. I mean, and again, I'm gonna sit up here and tell you all to relax, and you're gonna walk out the door and do your thing. So it's, in our field, in Paola and Elaine's field, in our field, we need to empower the person who's on the receiving end of this information to take care of business. And we have no magic wand. We can set you up with this. This is pretty much the standard, and I mean, we can set you up with strategies, but you are the one, the individual is the one who needs to implement it. And how do we do that? Cognitive behavioral therapy, I mean, that's, it's time. It's being able to be aware of your thought process and what you're thinking and what you're saying, and have the know-how and the guts to basically say, no, talk to yourself. I am not going to do this. I am going to, implement some strategies to make it better for myself. Get in the back seat, basically. You talk to yourself. Any client that I have who has a negative attitude or a negative overtone, instantly, I mean, not instantly, because I'll lose them as a client, but we look at changing that thought process. That's what the cognitive behavioral therapy is about. Simplify. I mean, people get their PhDs in cognitive behavioral therapy, but I mean, there's all kinds of strategies, but the point
How
is,
successful is it to do that? It's almost like a course of,
yes, it's
okay, online, because it is available online, versus with a therapist.
well, I'm a therapist for the last 40
Right.
years. I would say with a therapist is much better.
Yeah.
But I mean, in today's day and age, bye you guys, thank you so much for coming. But in today's day and age, if you need to Zoom and you need to go online, it's better than nothing, okay? But let me just go over one other thing. Get out of bed if you're unable to sleep. And then finally, take your active mind out of bed. And how do we do that? Meditation, Tai Chi, Qigong, and please, I don't want to scare you with this. Yoga, visualization, mindfulness, all the above. Creative thinking, reading, getting yourself in a different level. Yes?
You can be referred for cognitive CBTI, which is cognitive behavioral
Can you
therapy.
speak up? I'm a little hard of hearing, and I ran out without my hearing aids.
You
so.
can be referred by your doctor to a cognitive behavioral therapist
Yes.
for insomnia.
It's covered by
And
insurance.
it's covered
Yep.
by insurance.
Right.
Beautiful.
But there's also the veterans put together a website that helps you to just track how your sleep
Yep.
went.
Yes.
It's CBTI Coach.
Yeah, that's-
And you can do that along with the book
Mm-hmm.
if you don't want to do the therapy, but.
Yeah, and it's a good introduction, right? Let's say, for example, if you go on the website, and you get yourself started, and then you could take the course with a human being. But just a couple of things before we go, right? The peaceful music. For years, I used meditative music before I went to bed. There's all kinds of, guided imagery, body work, meditation. Oh, one other thing. works for me, okay? I don't know if it's gonna work for all of you. The hottest shower I can stand, where I don't burn myself. And I stand in the shower and I say, Elaine, you got this, you got this, you got this. Brings me down here. Okay, we're done.
Oh, wait, I have a question.
Yes. Oh, I thought you were stopping me, Jill.
No, I tried that a few minutes ago. I'm joking. So hot shower, but I don't know about anybody else. I need my room to be at like
Yes.
50-something degrees to sleep.
Okay, that's
Is that,
another good
is that a
point.
personal
Yes.
thing, or is that
No. The
better to
research
sleep in a cooler room?
Right. The research indicates the cooler the better. That's for sure. And also too, people with you have your windows open now, it's problematic for me, but not only with allergies, but it just is just too much air going on. So I keep the windows closed in the bedroom, but that's me, okay? A lot of people like their windows open and I have my fan going and soon the air conditioner's gonna go on. But there's too much stimuli out there, right? I mean, you know, even if, you know, the birds start singing at 5 in the morning, then you're up. I'm a light sleeper. But anyway, I hope this helps everybody. I mean, yes.
Could we possibly do a part 2 of this? I think we've only gotten started.
Okay, we'll talk to Jill.
I'm game.
Okay, we'll talk to
Okay,
Jill.
there are a lot
I
of
talked-
interesting, I'm interested in what you had to say, you obviously.
Right, when you took the course, that would be great. Yes,
I was waiting to hear something said about this, but how does computer use?
oh, I'm sorry, that's
Because
definitely in there.
Sometimes you can get up in the middle of the night and, oh gee, I have to check something on the
Okay.
computer, and that's
That
like the worst
is-
thing, right?
In, not only in
A
this
no-no,
book, but that is a huge no-no, right?
Yeah.
It's a huge no-no, is that we need to leave the electronics where the electronics are. And they're actually even saying in this literature that, or any literature out there, I mean, they're talking like, 3 or 4 hours before, which is hard for me. I mean, that's hard because I could be working with somebody till 9 at night on my computer and then maybe kick out a note. So I usually stop at 9 and no more. Because not only, and that's where we can get into it possibly, with the brain, because then the light from the computer, we all know that, right? It stimulates your brain. So, I mean, there's a lot of techniques you all can do, but I mean, it is your comfort level. And good luck. Come to my meditation class on 11 o'clock. Just, email Jill or something, wherever you got here, and she'll send you my way. But it's 11 o'clock on Wednesdays, not the next 2 Wednesdays, because I'm going to Florida tomorrow. So I won't be back. But it's a lot of fun, everybody. And we just sit and we have conversation and we talk about meditation.